just looking at your guys' campaign results, I mean, the two results that you told us about in your booking was 3,129 emails sent and 13 positive replies. And then another campaign with 10,783 emails sent and 14 positive replies. So between those two campaigns, there's 27 positive replies, which are 27 high intent leads that you can work. What's going on, guys? Andre Hakel Jr. here from ListKit, here with Nick from Terrazzo. How are we doing, brother?
Good, good. How are you? Good to see you.
Doing good, man. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I'm pumped to share your story with our audience. We were talking a little bit off camera about how our background at ListKit and me personally as well, working in the agency space and in the coaching space, is really with software companies and service providers. But what you guys do at your company is you sell a physical product, which I think is so cool that you've been able to use and leverage a marketing channel like cold email to sell more of your product and to achieve, ROI. And so if you could just give us a quick intro to who you are and what your company does, and then we'll get into how you're using cold email and list kit leads to grow.
Sure. Yeah, so my name is Nick Pauly. I'm the president of Terrazzo Granitech USA. We're a distributor and installer of a patented decorative plaster. What that is, it's a paste-like material. It comes in buckets, and a unique selling point is that it's very elastic and durable, and it offers our clients unlimited number of ways to use it in terms of areas they want to use it, surfaces, and so on. Our clientele entails anything from an interior designer to a developer to an architect, sometimes even the end client, or it might be potential showrooms or distributors that want to add this to their portfolio, showcase it to their clients, or even pool contractors who want to have it as an option. So we have a very wide range of clients, and also the applicators. So to the applicators who were the ones applying the product, the installers essentially. So they also want to have more material that they offer their clients. And to them, we only sell the product. But when we are engaged with the design community, we offer the installation and the product together. So that's a bit on us.
That's so cool, man. So why cold email? And like, what other lead gen channels were you using prior? And yeah, why cold email? And what have the results been like for a business like yours?
Just a cold email. I thought so. My background is in finance, so I'm always looking into more channels to grow the business. And I think what's cool about cold email is that I mean I like to automate as much as possible, and it has enabled us to get as many leads as we can, people that we think we would benefit from becoming aware of our product, and approaching tens of thousands a month with through that channel, and kind of automating it, getting it out there in a way that for us doesn't need a ton of resources to do. So we just set the campaigns, we send them out, and essentially it's a very high ROI once you set it up, which we like. And then what we do is essentially we email everyone, and then progressively, because you're going to get a certain number of responses. The ones who don't respond, we follow up with them via phone calls. So
That's
that's
fine.
been kind of the strategy on that. We see who responds, and then the ones who don't, for whatever reason, we just touch base with them.
Yeah, which I did a couple case study interviews on our YouTube channel about that strategy before, and I've seen it work really well to the point where people are seeing 50% to 100% or more increases in calls booked just by picking up the phone and calling the leads that respond to the emails, because not everyone's looking at the emails even after the first response, and just the back and forth takes much longer than it would to pick up the phone and call. And the nice thing about list kit leads, at least the way we sell them and package them, is you can get the mobile number as well for most contacts, especially if you're prospecting in the US. So, like, what kind of results have you seen from cold email, Nick, in regards to like replies, leads, calls booked? I don't know if your main KPI is a call booked necessarily or an actual sale, but like early on, what have you seen that's promising to keep this thing
Yeah, I mean,
scaling?
we have, from what I see here, we have about a 5% reply rate. This varies between 5%. We had a campaign with 30%, 2%. So it really depends on the list. I think the most important thing is building the right list. I think that's the most important thing. Spending the time of building the right list and then having the copy that corresponds to that list and solving the pain point of that particular customer. So for us, just because we have such a broad customer base, we're going to have a different copy for, let's say, an interior designer versus an applicator versus, well, whatever your target is. So I think we've been seeing great results. Like, I mean, I don't know what the averages are, but I think, the reason we're probably on here is because we're doing well. And I think the reason is that we were able to target the copy and just focus on keep it short and sweet and then focus on the pain points. And then, I mean, for us, we don't have a short sales cycle. I mean, we can potentially, you get on the phone with them and you might have some projects right away. But I mean, for us, we take a long approach. Like, we want to make the people aware of the product, see how we can potentially collaborate. It's not just about making a sale, because often you might be reaching out to, let's say, a potential partner, and then they have showrooms and you might establish a long-term relationship with them and sell over time. Or you might make someone aware of your product today, and then 6 months from now, they're going to need it. So it's not like a product where it's not a one phone call product. It's more of establishing relationships, and we find it's a great way to go about it.
Yeah, and you'll see that too with the trend of case studies that we do here at ListKit. It's never like, oh, we started campaigns and within a week we saw an ROI or we saw this massive result. It's really the clients specifically that stick with the strategy and the system for months to see those results compile, right? Because there is a sales cycle, and B2B sales cycles are not overnight. And that's when someone first enters into the funnel, and just to get them into the funnel or to reply positively, right? If that's like the trigger point, it's not an overnight thing. But just looking at your guys' campaign results, I mean, the two results that you told us about in your booking was 3,129 emails sent and 13 positive replies. And then another campaign with 10,783 emails sent and 14 positive replies. So between those two campaigns, there's 27 positive replies, which are 27 high intent leads that you can work in your sales process for months on end. And maybe those leads get you into a showroom. Maybe they close individually as a client. Maybe they refer you business, like you're saying here. It's going to be cool to see over time, the actual ROI of sticking it out. So
Yeah.
I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think if you stick to it and you maximize the number of emails you can send a month, I mean, you're looking at what, like 30, 40, 50, 60 leads a month, which can be very powerful over time if you do it right, right? I mean, that's like my take on it.
Exactly. It's all about sticking with it and letting that sales process do its thing for a long period of time. Because if you look at it from like an ROI perspective, for ListKit's setup offer, I mean, to send 15,000 emails a month, which is the amount that we just went over in your results that generated you 27 positive replies or high intent leads, it's only $500 a month. So if you could pay $500 after the setup fee, which is just in that first month, to get 27 new leads every month, it's pretty difficult not to make an ROI, especially with the product that you guys sell and the opportunity not just to sell one to one, but to sell into showrooms and to do deals that sell bulk or enterprise type contracts. So that's where you really start to see like high compounding ROI. It just takes a little while for that to actually play out.
Yeah, yeah, sure. I mean, you got to be patient with it and stick to it month after month. And I think it's a very inexpensive way to add 30, 50, 60, 70, who knows how many leads a month. What's most important is it doesn't take up a ton of resources. So once you set it up and you have the copy that works for your particular business, essentially you just recycle that campaign to different audiences. And it's like it barely takes up any time. So for what it is, I think it's a great way to get, let's say, 50 leads a month.
That's awesome. Yeah, and the big point there is like the tech is usually the biggest bottleneck for people, which obviously we handle fully on our cold email setup offer. We put you on our system, we manage it for you, and you just have to be responsible for the campaign strategy to sell your own offer, which makes sense. And then what that does, which is super important, is because you're not bottleneck generating the leads, you can spend all of your time nurturing and closing the leads. And so just for the audience out there that might be, you know, where you're at in terms of they're figured out how to generate the leads, how do they actually go about nurturing that lead over time and eventually closing that lead? What are some strategies or tips you have at those stages?
I mean, I think the most important thing is to set everything up in your CRM and making sure you have touch points with them and whatever cadence might be relevant for that particular client. You should establish that for out of your initial call to see when it's relevant to follow up, and then we keep in touch with them accordingly. And I think the value is in the follow up for sure.
Absolutely. And the consistency, right? Because, and what we always tell our sales team is like, if you don't follow up with them, someone else will. Like they're in the market to buy that product or that solution. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And it's also a matter of from who. So if you give up on it, you're just opening the door to your competitor to step right in and take that business from you. So if you follow up long enough, consistently enough, and don't give up until that person or that prospect or that high intent lead is ready to go to the next step, it's really hard to lose long term. So you must be in this space for a while, Nick, to have like this perspective of sales processes and how long things really do take to play out. And also just understanding if you do stay consistent and trust the process and let things play out, you'll be in good shape. So that's awesome, man. Where can our audience find more information about your company and services you guys provide and everything else you're up to?
Yeah, they can check out our website under terrazzoplasterusa.com. That's double R double Z. And also on Instagram under Terrazzo USA.
That's awesome. And just to go a step further, what is it that you guys do better or differently than your competitors? And to make this even relevant to cold email and marketing strategy, how do you guys communicate that in your messaging? Like, what have you found the framing or the scripting to be that works and resonates with your audience?
Yeah, so our unique selling point is that we have a patented product that, in contrast to conventional plasters, or usually either cement based or plant based, they're very prone to cracking. So our product replicates what they do, but essentially extracting all the problems that come with, let's say, plaster. You install it, it looks great on your phone, but then once you install it, and let's say in your bathroom, take a couple of showers, it starts cracking. That's not what you want. So that's where we come in. We have a resin-based plaster. It's a patented product. It's very highly elastic, very durable. It can be used on any kind of surface, and the most important thing is it doesn't crack. Because there's other plasters out there. They say they're waterproof. They say that, but then you install them, and just because of their nature, when something has cement content, no matter what you do, it's going to crack. When something is plant-based, it's going to crack. So that's where we come in, and that's the problem we're trying to solve, right, for our clients. Because we had a lot of clients who they stopped using plaster products, even though they loved the look, the aesthetics. They stopped. They started redirecting their clients away from it just because of the problems they came up with. So, and then they met us. We started showing them the possibilities, and they reintroduced it. So that's kind of like what we do. And the important thing is when you reach out to keep it short and sweet. More information is not better. A lot of people think you should just lay out information and throw things against the wall and something's going to stick. That's definitely not the case. It's going to be extremely short, to the point. And why is it relevant for them? Nobody cares about you. Nobody wants to know anything about you. They want to know, okay, this email that just came in, what does it do for me? Oh, okay, this doesn't crack. Okay, hey, I had this job the other day. It cracked. Maybe I should look into this. Nobody cares what company you are or why you want to sell. You should stop pushing product. So you should start thinking more about solving problems and providing solutions. And if you do that, a lot of clients are going to appreciate it. Because at the end of the day, it's in the marketplace, it's about creating things for people, creating value, and selling something is just a byproduct of that.
Yeah, that's a master class, a really short master class on sales and marketing, right? It's product market fit. And I think when you send an email that really speaks to where someone is at or what they're experiencing, it's refreshing, right? Because they get a bunch of junk emails that have nothing to do with their business or what they're experiencing or what their goals are. And they trash them, but then they get an email from you and you're not wasting their time, sharing your credibility and credentials and how great you are, but instead you're getting right to the point and focusing in on what, like how you can solve their biggest pain point because you know their pain point so well. I mean, that's why what you do works.
Yeah, and you should really focus on building your list. I think that's where you should focus instead of like having tens of thousands of emails on there that really are not a good fit. Because more is not better. You should really make sure what's on there is relevant. Spend the time, spend a few more hours, build the right list, and then you're gonna get high response rates.
Yeah, and the great thing is ListKit will help you with that, right? That's like our unique selling point is we have a B2B leads base or leads database. It's full of 500 million plus leads, but we can get really hyper specific on the targeting. And we'll even do a one-on-one call with you to do like a concierge style list building service. And we can even go as far as using intent signals to actually target people that are searching for what you're selling or
Yeah, I
already
think
in the
that's
market.
powerful. We started looking into that as well. I think that's going to be our next campaign. Sometime this month, we're going to explore that as well. I think it's great to both for us and the people who are on that list. They've been searching for something, and now here we are offering the solution.
Exactly. And that's where the messaging just hits home because you know what they're in the market for and you can deliver exactly that. So Nick, I appreciate it. Not just you jumping on here and sharing your results and telling everyone how great your cold email campaigns are performing, but also sharing value and giving everyone perspective into what a sales process looks like, what could be expected, and just how to get better results overall when it comes to business growth. So thank you.
Awesome. It was great connecting. Thank you for your time.
Likewise, brother. All right, take it easy. Peace.
Bye.